This is Shakima. She turned a $12 flight to Amsterdam into a $1,600,000 online business. Now, the first question is, how in the world do you pay only $12 from the US to Amsterdam? And then the second question is, how did that one flight help you build a $1,000,000 online business in under 2 years? Well, in this video, she's going to take us step by step on how she did it, and she shares this with us.
I made $82,000 in 1 hour.
Yeah, in 1 hour, and she's going to show us exactly what she did to get that. So if you guys are ready to learn how to make money online this way, get ready. You ready? Let's go. Hey, Shakima, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Hey, guys.
I'm so excited for this interview because your story is amazing. So can you first just let us know, like, how did this whole traveling thing start and what made you even want to become a solo traveler?
Hey, thanks. That's a great question. So, guys, I am the passport abuser. That's how the internet streets know me. I have traveled to 91 countries in total. 84 of those countries have been completely solo. And it all started pretty much by accident. I went on a trip with two women who I had a really, really good relationship with. And I ended up being stranded on vacation in the middle of the night in Amsterdam on my birthday.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay, so tell us more. So what happened there? Like, how did you even get stranded? Why would they leave you?
Girl, T. Okay, so I had one of my really good girlfriends, 10 years. We were cool. And she had this boyfriend who was about 17 years older than her. She would give him money but he would always dump her. And so I said to her one day, if you still want to be romantically involved with him, it's your heart, it's your business, but your purse does not need to keep going into the relationship. Like, you go in whole, you leave whole. So, her boyfriend once said to her, like, oh, well, I want you to buy me a condo in Houston. She gave him $42,000 for a condo in Houston. Then she bought him $5,000 rims for his BMW.
Oh my gosh.
And he was just like, well, you and your dogs got to get out my condo tomorrow. So
My
she
condo.
would give, but would not like receive. And, I just had a conversation with her and I was like, if you still want to be with him, that's your body. No one can police your body or your time. They both belong to you. But just as a friend, I don't want to see you financially exploited because he knows that you love him. He's older than you, so he knows how to get his way with you. Just don't give him any more money, even if you give him more of your heart. And for the rest of the night, she didn't speak to me. And we were in Amsterdam at the Bulldog. She didn't speak to me for the rest of the night. And the next day, they left.
In Amsterdam. You're by yourself on your birthday.
I know, my first solo trip ever by accident. But I've helped 12,000 people travel the world and earn 1 million miles and ace their first solo trip. And Travel Like a Boss went from, me being afraid of being alone by myself in Amsterdam on my birthday to, at this point, almost $2 million. We earned $1.6 million within our first, I would say, 19 months of business. So it when it happened, I was crushed because I was like, hold on, you gonna turn on me over a guy? A man would make you turn on your girls, your squad? But I think ultimately, if they would have never did that, if she would have never made that decision for her and her friends to leave, I think my life would be completely different than what it is today. So I'm actually happy it happened.
Wow, okay, so we got to unwrap this a little bit. First of all, okay, so now this tragic incident happened. You go back home. Now, how does the business start? Like, how do you make this a business? How do you even start?
Girl.
Where does it start? How does, like, from the beginning? So you go back home. Where are we at right now?
Okay, so I took KLM Airlines back home on my birthday and I cried my eyes out the whole entire time. And when I got home, it was like a sobering reality when I was alone that, hey, you're in your 30s and you're not comfortable with being alone. When you found out that you were left, you didn't say, "Well, let me enjoy my birthday trip and let me just have fun." You
Mm-hmm.
chickened out and went home crying because ultimately you didn't think that you would enjoy yourself if you were by yourself. And it was also a mix of I'm hurt, but I think that
Right.
ultimately, in retrospect, I'm thinking, Whitney, you know what? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to be here by myself. How do I entertain myself? How do I go for a walk by myself in Amsterdam? I think all of it just felt like too big of a task, especially with it being thrown on me on my birthday, that
Yeah.
I just called my mom. I cried and we just changed my flight and I went home. I think it was about 8 months later that I was like, you know what? I'm ready to take my official first solo trip. I'm not traveling with any girls. I don't want to be around no girls. I can't even be honest with you as a friend trying to protect you.
Uh-huh.
You feeling like it has to go overboard. And mind you, the girl that left me, she when I called her on a FaceTime to say, "Where are you?" Because like, what is happening? She was like,
Right.
"Oh, Eric loves me. You're gonna see." So she wasn't really remorseful when I called her, like, "Hey, where are you guys? Y'all left me." She was just like, "Oh, well, Derek loves me, and you're just mad. Me and Derek, we gonna make it." I honestly, I don't even know whatever happened to her and Derek. Don't even know. I hope it was worth it. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, and I took my first solo trip about 8 months later, and that was to Paris, France. And from there, country number one turns into country 84 solo, and here we are.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how does this start? Like, how do you make a business out of this? Like, you're traveling on your own now and you're doing this, but how do you make a business out of this?
Right. So a lot of women were reaching out to me on Instagram, like, "Hey, I see you solo traveling, and you always come back alive." And my family tells me that if I do a solo trip, I'ma be killed, snatched, like ard, like I'm not gonna be okay. She said, but women were saying, I see you doing it. And I got tired of answering the same questions every day. So I wrote my whole system down in a yellow notebook and I was actually teaching women in person. After a while, I was like, you know what? Let me just create a course so that way I don't have to teach people in person, but I also
Mm-hmm.
don't have to keep repeating myself every day to each girl
Yeah.
on Instagram who DMs me. So it honestly, Whitney, I never intended for it to be a business because, I have a master's degree.
Okay.
Was at my job for 15 years. So, of course, being at your job for 15 years, having a master's degree, you have no intentions on
Right.
leaving that type of stability. And I don't know any other entrepreneurs. I didn't know any other people who had left their job or anything. So, all I know is that when I got a little PTO time, I wanted to travel. So, girls were reaching out to me. I was giving them the information. I created a course so I didn't have to repeat myself.
Mm-hmm.
And like lightning, a lady named Adrienne Jordan who worked for Forbes, she reached out and she said, "I went to all of these countries solo since I took your course. And I didn't tell you this, but when I purchased your course, I didn't tell you this, but I actually am a Forbes writer and I would
Wow.
like to write an article on you." So it was completely by accident. She didn't tell me who she was when she bought the course. She just said, "I want to learn how to solo travel." So I learned very early in business, Whitney, you be nice to everybody. You don't know who your customers
Right.
are in
For
real
real.
life and what kind of pull they got and who they really are. So you treat everyone very well. So I guess it was just some stroke of timing that I just so happened to get a client very early in business who was a freelance writer for such a big publication. After I got Forbes, I got USA Today, Essence, CNBC, USA
Wow.
Today in the same
Domino
week.
effect.
Yeah, and then from there, I made millions like in under 2 years just by
That's
being left on vacation.
that's insane. And so let's unpack that first because I know it didn't happen like right away. So when you created your course, how long did it take you to get even just your first sale?
So it took 3 months for me to get my first sale.
I love that because it wasn't like so you created this, people are asking about these, so you created thinking like, okay, yep, now it's ready to go, and it didn't go off the shelves right
Cricket.
away. Crickets.
Crickets for 3 months.
So what did you do to even promote that? I feel like so many people talk about the success, but in the very beginning, when no one even knows what you have to offer, how did you even get people to know about what you had to offer?
That is a wonderful question. So the first thing that I would say do is go where your audience hangs out. If
Mm-hmm.
I have a course and my intended audience is women who are looking to take their first solo trip, it may not hurt to go over to some um solo travel pages on Facebook, solo travel groups on Facebook, and say, hey guys, my name is Keem. I am a female solo traveler of just 10 countries. And here are some tips that you can use to take your very first solo trip. Now, the thing is, you don't have to be at country 91 in order to be able to help somebody, because even if you've taken 5 solo trips, you can speak to your freshman class, which is a bunch of women who have not even taken solo trip number 1. So
Right.
just remember that in order to be an expert, you don't have to have a doctorate degree. You just need to have more knowledge on a
Yeah.
specific topic than general population does. So I think sometimes people water themselves down like, oh, really? Do I really know enough? If
Mm-hmm.
you are currently at letter G right now and somebody is just trying to get to D, then why can't you come in and say, hey, I can create a roadmap on what has worked for
Right.
me and how you can achieve these outcomes and what actionable steps you need to take in order to learn how to change a tire, how to drop a dress size, how to control your blood pressure, how to build your confidence, how to co-parent, how to leave a narcissist, right? Like whatever experience that you have, there is somebody out there that can actually utilize that.
No, I love that. And I feel like that is how you overcome imposter syndrome because it's your story. Nobody else's. This is
Yes.
my experience. This is what worked for me. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm not afraid to just share what happened to me. I'm not faking it. This is just literal, real facts, you know? I love that so much. So, okay. So now we know our target audience. We're in the place, but what is your funnel process? What does it look like for someone to say like, okay, let me give some helpful information, but how do you actually get them to get to the end goal, which is to ultimately become in your community, pay, how does that all work?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. So, the first thing is when you're developing a digital product, you want to make sure that you send them to a place where you can get their email address.
Mm-hmm.
An email address is a license to print money. If Instagram, TikTok is going down, if somebody comes on your, let's say you have a viral reel on Instagram, it goes viral, 3.6 million views, and you got these 3.6 million views that came to your website. But guess what? If they didn't leave their email behind, you have no way of following up with them. An email
Yep.
address is kind of like a license to print money, because on any given day, you can go to your email address, your email list, and say, hey, here are 10,000 prospective people that I know they're interested in solo travel, that I can send them one email a day to nurture them until they are ready to buy from me and they know that they can trust me. They see social proof of other people that I've helped. They've tested out my system with 1 or 2 value things. I've given them some freebies. And most importantly, give them a lead magnet, right?
Right.
So that way, when they come to your website and they're like, oh, okay, so she's going to teach me how to solo travel, they're not a believer yet. Bring them to an ebook, bring them
Right.
to a 1 hour masterclass where they can kind of buy into your methodology. And then from there, they can say, ah, okay, yeah, I see what she does, I see how she does, and I see people that it works. And then she has the social proof with the magazines. If you are a person where you're just starting your business, don't be afraid to pitch to magazines. If you are starting a business in finance, or if you are a travel course, look on essencemagazine.com and say, okay, who are the last 3 writers that wrote articles for Essence
Oh,
Magazine
I
in
love
the
that.
finance space or in the travel space? Follow them on Instagram and LinkedIn and reach out to them and say, hey, I just did a week in Namibia. I love your last 3 articles on X. Start actually building that portfolio where you have relationships with journalists or booking producers from CBS National News. It's actually not as hard, but you guys just have to put yourselves out there.
Yeah.
Think that sometimes, Whitney, we just believe that we don't know enough, or we don't have enough letters behind our names, or we don't have any testimonials. Give your friends your course and say, okay, tell me what you
Right.
think, how I can make it better. Once you give me the feedback, I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna charge more. You know,
Right.
um, there's just so many things to being an entrepreneur, but you have to put yourself out there. There is no such thing as failure. You
Yeah.
only fail forward, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely not for the weak, but it's the most rewarding thing that I've ever done.
I love that. Now, what do you attribute most of you like? What would you say was your most effective marketing strategy to build that has built your business to almost $2 million? Has it been the press? Has it been word of mouth? Has it been partners? What do you contribute most of it to?
So I would say definitely just being consistent all across social media
Oh,
platforms.
okay.
Do not feel like you can't go to somebody who has a bigger audience than you and who is doing the same thing that you're doing. Don't feel like you cannot go to that person. Competition only happens at the bottom. I am a female solo traveler. I'm going to give you an example. I'm a female solo traveler. I have
Mm-hmm.
a course that teaches women how to solo travel and how to travel for free. I went to Travel Noir, which is owned by Blavity. Travel Noir has nothing but Black people who want to travel, hence the name Travel Noir, right? So this is a Black travel community. They have a 1 million person email list. In
Wow.
2020, I pitched myself to Travel Noir and I said, hey, listen, I have a product for female solo travelers and y'all have my audience. How can we work together? I didn't see the
Wow.
competition. How can we work together? Because I know that your audience wants my information. So how can we work together?
Oh,
Webinar in June of 2020. Remember, I had been working for 15 years at my job. I had never earned $82,000 in an hour in my life. I don't even think I ever saw $82,000 in my bank account at that time. You get
oh
what I'm
my
saying?
God.
So if
I love
you
this.
limit yourself to say, well, if they're doing the same thing as me, we can't collaborate. No, because guess what? My girlfriend, Where Did Nikki Go? My girlfriend, Front Page Ebb, all of my travel girlfriends, Walk with Deb Walker. I'm like, listen, girl, post this about my course and I'll give you 20%. She knows all her girls want this information. Now she about to make some money and so am I. So if you guys really, really want to make money, I would say have at least on deck one partnership a month
I love
with
that.
someone who has your audience. If you see somebody with a lot of Instagram followers and it looks like y'all kind of doing the same thing, but they're higher than you, ask them to collaborate and give them 20 to 30%.
Now that is something most people do not talk about. They all want to do it on their own. Like this, what I gotta do, what I gotta do. But no, why try and like I always say, don't reinvent the wheel. If this is something that works completely, it works because of you. I love this so much. Okay, so you have this course. You have a different courses, I think. Can you tell us about it? Like, what is your the different courses that you have about?
Right now, I just have two courses. I
Okay.
have one course, it's called Fly for Free University. It's a 4-week course where I show you guys how to earn 1 million airline miles and travel the world for free. I have not paid cash for a flight in 3 years.
What?
And I know. And my free masterclass shows everybody how to travel the world and never pay cash for their flight again. That's Fly for Free University. It's a 4-week course, it's self paced and it's specifically on how to travel the world for free. It's a goodie. And then I have my 12-week coaching program for people who want to solo travel. So whether you're a man or a woman and you're like, you know what, I want to take my first solo trip, but you want hand holding and intimacy throughout the process, then that's my 12-week VIP course specifically for solo travel.
Okay. I'm so excited, first of all, because I did a video not too long ago, and this woman, she commented on my post and she said, I can only dream of traveling. I'll never be able to afford it. So I'm so glad that you were able to show your video. So the fact that I can share with her that no, yes, you can. I cannot. I'm going to literally take your link and go ahead and find that comment.
Take my course.
Yes, because that is everything that she probably never thought she could ever have, be able to do it. And I believe, don't you teach this even how to do it with a 9 to 5? Like you were doing this earlier
Yep.
on when you were still
Yep.
9 to 5. And I love how you break that down about like, can you share that really quickly about the days, like how you can have actual, how you're talking about like Martin Luther King Day, can you explain that?
Yeah, so in my course, when I started my solo travel course, I was still like a 9 to 5 baddie. And what people would say is, how do you have so much time off when you actually have a 9 to 5? So, what I do to maximize the PTO, I always take the day before or the day after a holiday off. So, if it's Martin Luther King Day on a Monday, I'll take Friday off. So that way I leave Thursday night after work. I got all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday. Monday night, I fly back to work. I fly back home on Tuesday, I go to work. This only works if the flight for me is under 6 hours. Because, the jet lag, anything over 6 hours, it's kind of hard for me to go to work the next day. But I
Yeah.
definitely went to Paris over the weekend with friends to party.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We're dropping the links in the comment section. This is
Yes.
amazing. I just want to thank you so much. You are helping so many people. I mean, you've already helped, what, did you say 11,000 people? Over probably 11,000?
Almost 12,000 people that
Almost
I think
12.
when I checked last week, it was 11,837 people.
I think we can all say thank God for that girl getting mad at you.
Yes. It
Okay,
all
this
worked
was
out.
awesome. Yes, it all worked out. So I'm going to put her links in the description below. If you guys have any questions or any comments, show her some love in the comment section. I'm going to put all her links in the description below. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye, guys.